Attention, Big Mountain! There's a 95% chance of clear skies interrupted with artillery fire. My robo-scorpions will soon conquer the crater. It's just that this is a big place, so it's hard to conquer everything.
Hello, it's nice to meet you. Who can I hide you from today? We're okay on Stimpaks. If you want to be sneaky, turn off your Pip-Boy light. Time to fight. Fighting over. Time to fight. Fighting over. Uh-oh. Cessation of hostilities complete. Time to fight. Cessation of hostilities complete. Data collection array online. Please use the terminal below to begin user synchronization. Nobody ever notices me, but they notice the Pip-Boy light. This is the basic stealth test. The robots will be looking for us, but we won't let them find us. Nobody ever notices me, but they notice the Pip-Boy light. Pip-Boy lights on. Test data processed. Firmware updated to version 1.1. Boot damping sensors online.
No, even that stealth suit won't hide you from
Mean robot bugs! Mean robot bugs!
Go, my minion!
This one looks pretty tough.
Go, my minion! Sting them! Robo-Scorpion, attack!
That's all. This one looks pretty tough.
Go, my minion! Sting them in the name of all that is Mobius! Right, everyone, calm down. Might have been a blip. Time for... Robo-Scorpion!
Cessation of hostilities complete. This is the advanced test. Watch out for laser tripwires. They'll ruin our day. Test data processed. Firmware updated to version 1.2. Oral subnet online. This is the expert stealth test. If you thought the lasers were bad, wait till you see the proximity mines. Test data processed. Firmware updated to version 1.3. Torso fitment synced to user's physiology. This is the robot compliance test. If you sneak up on a robot, you can disable it. It's so easy, even I can't mess up. Test data processed. Firmware updated to version 1.4. Impulse accelerator online. Uh-oh.
You're no match for science.
Cessation of hostilities complete.
You're no
This one looks pretty tough.
Sting them in the name of all that is Mobius. You're no match for science. Robo-Scorpion, attack! Stop that!
Was that all?
Three. Dr. Mobius.
Ready,
Zero.
steady, fighty.
You think that oral stealth suit will keep you hidden from me? Think again.
Bad guys dealt with.
Soon, all
you like me?
Might I be of service, sir? Very good, sir. And might I venture to opine that a new trilby might be just the thing to complete sir's ensemble?
You require some additional services? Well, I'll be right here if you change your mind.
How can I illuminate you? I certainly can.
The toaster. Beware the toaster. If it could, it would burn the world.
What's the haps? Right on, Daddy-o. Just plug it in and I'll mix you up a sweet, sweet sound. Right on, Daddy. Let's spin some grooves.
And you return as curious as a teddy bear. Are you stuck in a looping gesture of greeting? Here, please, take this from me with your rough, bacterial-laden hands. My stored, repressed juices as your filthy compensation. Oh, and here's a tip. That's customary, isn't it? Been so long, really. Until our next interaction, my intriguing little lobotomite.
Predictable. The lobotomite specimen returns. Its purpose? Repetition. Chances of success? High. Yeah, I discovered more internal parts in the monitors here. If you could, hold on to my discovery, I'd appreciate it. You sure are testing that personality chip thoroughly. All right. Yeah, there were a few under the monitors here. Here you go. Keeps the place tidy. Until our next scheduled audio transmission and reception, then.
Did you retrieve the technologies yet? We need them, as I have indicated. What? You did? Your survival, let alone success, barely registered in my projections. Now, all I need to do is check my transmission databank. Mobius is always filling it up with his psychotic calls. Oh yes, there's the schematics, just like you said. How truthful. Yes, yes. Yes, No, I mean yes. You just need to analyze these technologies for a moment. They are extremely advanced, you know. I know how these technologies work. Of course I know. If you remember, we described them in clearly abstract, contradictory statements before. Why would we do that if we weren't certain on how to use them? Yes, so let me... a bit, I'll figure it out. Its range is limited, and it would need a booster of some sort, a carrier, but... let me check something. Of course, I have it. The override sequence to open the Forbidden Zone door is hidden in the schematics. Well, not hidden. It's actually right there, behind the programming equivalent of coffee stains. It's embedded in what seems to be recursive code. It's badly commented there and there. Oh, and null pointers very sloppy, Mobius. You see, using the antenna to boost the emitter's sonic frequency and the stealth suit to bypass the Forbidden Zone lock, yes, that could work. Was that my plan? It must have been. Sometimes I truly surprise myself. The door is open, and now Mobius will get his. Heal you? What, put you back together like some giant hard-boiled yum-yum deviled egg? I mean, technically, these items could all be used to put you back together once you had your brain. But for now, they can be used in the name of aggression. The door should be unsealed. Now, instead of being subjected to threats, we can now send an equally threatening message to Mobius. And that message is science. Deliver this message, and Big Mountain shall be freed from Mobius's reign of terror. You can go now. That's your cue.
Would you like some toast?
Uh-oh. Was that all? Uh-oh. Fighting over. Pip-Boy lights on. Ready, steady, fighty. Bad guys dealt with. Uh-oh. Bad guys dealt with. We haven't seen anybody in a while. Maybe the monsters have stealth suits too.
What terrors does Big Mountain hold for the intrepid seeker? Really? Does anyone know? I'm at a loss.
This one looks pretty tough.
Why not let the robot deal with it? Why not let the robot deal with it? I'm going to look over here now.
Bad guys dealt with. Nobody ever notices me, but they notice the Pip-Boy light. Ready, steady, fighty. Fighting over. This one looks pretty tough. Bad guys dealt with. Sneaking done. Fighting now. Time to fight.
You won't escape me! Destroy
Fighting
this one.
over. Ready, steady, fighting. Cessation of hostilities complete. all lit up. Is it Christmas?
Attention, students. This is the pre-recorded voice of your pre-recorded principal. Dr. Principal Boros.
Was that all? Ready, steady, fighty. Cessation of hostilities complete. Uh-oh.
Is ball storage or just light balls.
Injecting stim pack. Do you like me? Fighting over. Time to fight.
I am lord of this institution. There once long ago, was a student here. Now, I am
Bad guys dealt with.
God Principal. As I soon will be lord of Big Mountain. Do-dee-do. Do you hear that? It is my trumpet of victory.
Ready, steady, fighty. That's all. Nobody ever notices me, but they notice the Pip-Boy light.
Attention students, this is the pre-recorded voice of your pre-recorded principal, Dr.
Cessation of hostilities complete.
Time to fight.
Was that all?
Please place all filthy propaganda books in the incinerator chute in the sink, especially those with pictures of me in them.
Please stand clear. This is now a free fire.
Ready, steady, fighty. Was that all? Sneaking done. Fighting now. Sneaking done. Fighting now. That's all. Time to fight. This one looks pretty tough. Bad guys dealt with. This one looks pretty tough.
use of deadly force, please direct complaints to your local... Scanning for hostiles.
That's all.
Hostile target identified.
Time to fight. Fighting over.
Please stand clear.
Uh-oh.
This is now a free fire.
That's all.
Unable to continue.
We haven't seen anybody in a while. Maybe the monsters have stealth suits too. Uh-oh. Bad guys dealt with. Was that all? This one looks pretty tough. Cessation of hostilities complete. Time to fight. Was that all? We haven't seen anybody in a while. Maybe the monsters have stealth suits too. guys dealt with. This one looks pretty tough. Cessation of hostilities complete.
Might I be of service, sir?
Greetings, citizen. Ready to receive seditious materials. Stay loyal, citizen.
That's all. Ready, steady, fighty. Cessation of hostilities complete.
Force fields can only be disrupted by a specific frequency. If anyone has found the frequency, last seen around X8, let the dome know at once.
This one looks pretty tough. Fighting over. Uh-oh. That's all. Sneaking done. Fighting now. That's all.
Try to leave your dome, think tank, and you will be punished by the pincered might of my Robo-Scorpion army.
This one looks pretty tough. That's all. This one looks pretty tough. Was that all? Uh-oh. Fighting over. Sneaking done. Fighting now. Fighting over. Ready, steady, fighting.
There's nothing I like better than making some other poor bastard die for his country. Nothing I like better than the smell of plastic.
Who do you think is cuter, Dr. Klein or Dr. Boros? Bad guys dealt with.
Mighty think tank, still cowering in your dome? Cower, you fools, cower.
That's all. Time to fight. Was that all? Ready, steady, fighting.
Now I end you.
That's all. Nobody ever notices me, but they notice the Pip-Boy light. Are we being watched? Okay, I'll go away. Did you even know you were wearing me? Uh-oh. Cessation of hostilities complete. Time to fight. Cessation of hostilities complete.
All lobotomites, please stop milling about. Really.
Uh-oh. Was that all? Do you like me?
Might I be of service, sir?
Ooh, oh yeah, baby. Feels good to be online again. Yeah, all circuits online, ready to receive your seed. Your seed, baby. I'm the original, certified, rarefied, testified GS-2000 Biological Research Station. Yes, sir. I'm a seed cloning machine. You got seeds? I'll clone the shit out of them.
It's the miracle of life, baby. You bring me some succulent genetic samples, and I'll work my mojo on them. Clone you up all kinds of plants. Oh, yeah. I can also break them down for you, if you're into the kinky stuff. Bring me any old plant parts, and I'll grind them up into salient cream for you. Yeah, you like that, don't you, baby? You know it, baby. I just need some samples, and I got you going. Take a few days, but trust me, it's all kinds of good. Just the miracle of life in sticky, gooey, liquid form, baby. Heat that gunk up over a campfire and just watch it congeal into all kinds of plants. I love it when you talk like that. Let me just get that interface up and running for you. Well, hello. Still waiting for that seed. I love it when you talk like that.
Oh, God, look at you. You're filthy. I suppose you'll want to clean up then? Oh, it's just so unsanitary. Do you know how many germs are in 1 cubic centimeter of dirt? 70, 100, gajillion. Would you want that getting washed down your gullet day in and day out? I didn't think so. Oh, I'd love to, darling, but the circuits that allow me to dispense water into non-organic containers burned out years ago. You'd have to find a replacement for that module. You can have as much as you like. Just, please don't put your lips on the faucet. It's so unsanitary. You've been working with that biological research station, haven't you? I suppose you'll want to clean up. Come back anytime you want a drink, or to get clean.
You require some additional services? And rightly so, I should think. All right, then. Let me just fire up the old interface for you.
Don't you like me anymore? You're my best friend forever. Time to fight. Fighting over. Ready, steady, fighting. Cessation of hostilities complete. Time to fight. Cessation of hostilities complete. This one looks pretty tough. That's all. Time to fight. Fighting over. Sneaking gun. Fighting now. That's all. Pip-Boy lights on. Ready, steady, fighty. Who do you think is cuter, Dr. Klein or Dr. Boros? Time to fight. Bad guys dealt with. Sneaking done. Fighting now. That's all. This one looks pretty tough. Fighting over. This one looks pretty tough. That's all. Uh-oh. Bad guys dealt with.
There is no standing on the green pipes. If you are standing on the green pipes, please get off them at once.
Ready, steady, fighty.
You're no match for science. You're no match for science.
Please take this. I don't want you to die. Please take this. I don't want you to die.
You want this? You want this? escape me!
Bad guys dealt with. Ready, steady, fighting. Fighting over.
Klein, remember the time you forgot to carry the tube and nearly blew up the Y-Zero Research Center? Oh, wait, you did! Or was that me? Attention visitors! Combat experiment in progress. Please put on your goggles and take your rad-X now. The X-42 giant robo-scorpion is alive! Awaken my pet! Initiate your search and destroy protocol in the name of all that is Mobius!
Ready, steady, fighting.
It looks like the target drones got activated and... Oh, how cute. They're an intruder.
Bad guys dealt with.
I'm certain of it. Let's see the shrapnel fly. Crush them with your pincers! Defiant to the end! You can't avoid the deadly laser sting of Dr. Mobius! You can't avoid the deadly laser sting of Dr. Mobius! X-42, attack in the name of Mobius! can't avoid the deadly laser sting of Dr. Mobius!
This one looks pretty tough. Cessation of hostilities complete.
Is this thing on? This is Mobius, Dr. Mobius. We're initiating some kind of emergency test shutdown. In 5, 4, as in forbidden, 3, as in tree, 2, as in two Brutus, 1, as in none. Oh, look, the emergency overload is initiating. Oh, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing, you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. Little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely. Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black a while ago. That's old age for you. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. The flying tortoises were the worst. Would you care for a mentat? I love mentats. Delicious and smarty. I have all sorts of amazingly science-terrific thoughts and ideas when those chalky tablets are zipping through my biogel. I forget them all not long after, though, especially with the data constipating my memory core. Afraid binary streams might shoot out my chassis. Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations, although I've somewhat lost track of where they start and end. Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting? Please extrapolate. What was I supposed to be like? After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if your theoretical Mobius is better than I. do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes. Oh, curiosity. I experience that less now that I know everything. Oh, maybe it was when I found out some unpleasant answers. The ghosts aren't real? That changes everything. Why, I can save my computing power for other perceptual impossibilities. Please be my guest. The receptor is there, and the side-switching wobbly bob, just turn that. Good, good, better. Oh, yes, that feels wonderful. This is even better than my afternoon mentats break. Oh, a variety of raisins. You're something of a homily. Anomaly? You're really quite special, and not in the cranially challenged way. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own success, as it were. If you were to go back with what your brain knows about the procedure, well, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. Can't have brains moving around of their own volition. I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel this one is especially important. Oh, well. I find things curious as well. Go on. Well, every scientist needs an army. Mine came to me after these rather large scorpions kept coming in from the desert, like poisonous frosting. How scary, I thought, but they had survived when nothing else had. Perfect candidates for improvement as a reward for their tenacity. Then I thought, what if they shot energy bolts and acted as walking eyes and data-drained computers and acted as bullhorns? Then I made them bigger. Then I thought about custard. I do so love custard. Or was it mustard? Mustard custard. I miss sugars and salts. Yes, this is getting interesting. You are just filled with these little slices of curiosity, aren't you? Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work myself up to it. Not usually violent, except when I am. Then, watch out! So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take mentats, I can feel my entire chassis breathe like a big spherical lung. As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in my tank all switched up. Go in the wrong tube. Still, served its purpose. Did I? Maybe I did. Can't have them leaving. Some reason for it. Ethics or, conscience? You and your brain are quite alike. I'm sure it knows the reasons better than I do. Dr. Mobius. Rather catchy, isn't it? It's my name, and my new name overwrote the old one. This name's as real as you or I, although I believe your brain expressed similar incredulity at the nature of such an appellation. Someone's been watching too many old-world science fiction movies, it said. I believe it meant me. I must admit I have a vulnerability for holotape fantasies of planets and robots and all that is forbidden. As for the name I was born with, like the think tank, we were all reprogrammed to forget them, take on new names. It enforces the recursion loop in our perception programming. Now, trap is a rather harsh word, like excrement. Not an inappropriate word, but still rather harsh. But, yes, I did take some liberties with their programming. It's all right, they don't remember. I certainly didn't until you said trap, and then I said excrement, and then... The radar fence to keep the think tank hemmed in wasn't really enough. They keep testing things. They would have found a way to disarm it. I suspect I have Plan C's in place, but I may have coded myself to forget them, just in case. Probably very dangerous, lethal, or worse. So I had to do something else to keep them occupied here. Or as you like to say, trapped. I prefer to have several Plan Bs in case the A's fail. Oh, you figured it out. No pun intended. Dr. O, which is actually not his real name multiplied, since you can't multiply his real name in the first place. Ouroboros, Klein, they have all forgotten themselves. And not only themselves, but the world, sense of time and history. All that is left is what's here. I reprogrammed their chronometers, geometers, and cartography programs. This is now their world, here, Big Mountain. It was a merciful lobotomy, really, thinking back. They were my friends, but sometimes they would take things too far. And the world isn't ready for that kind of too-far thing-taking. That's my professional opinion, anyway. And I am told I was once quite professional. Really? It is so unlike me to make an error in anything I do. Well, it's simple. Despite their many failings, they are rather bright. They are the think tank for a reason. That I didn't change. Without something to distract them, make them afraid, they would simply deduce what had happened. And when they start deucing it up, then you came along, the final variable solved. They saw that their world was larger than they perceived. Bacteria, finally able to see its host. There have been other visitors to make them doubt their perceptions, but you are the one who dialed back their monitor micromagnifiers. You were irrefutable proof that there was a world outside. And then there was the whole brain fiasco, which forced me to take steps. See, your brain had a special kind of wrinkle, a uniquity that they had never thought to try in all their countless escape attempts. Yes, very good. I should have mentats ingest you instead of the other way around. Mentats. In any event, you showed up at the think tank, and because you had suffered a cranial injury in just the right place, bullets in the head are usually much more fatal, and yours was a light case of bullet headitis. But it was enough for the autodoc in the sink to change its programming to fix the problem, and the brain extraction technology for once worked. That gave the think tank the knowledge its brains couldn't possess. With that knowledge, the procedure can be reversed. If they obtain that procedural data, they can use it to mush and modify their cranial selves into hosts to slip past the radar fence. I'm sure of it. And once they're off the reservation... Oh no, I doubt your brain would be so unreasonable. It already knows the trick of it, you see. Doesn't need to be in a host body at all. If you become friends or exist in an uneasy truce with weapons aimed at each other, it would unlock the fence for you. Well, once the think tank was dealt with, of course, your brain is a responsible sort. Doesn't want mad scientists running around everywhere. Yes, I certainly wouldn't loop it on purpose. I am far too sophisticated to make such a childish error. Not much, except they contaminated Big Mountain and installed new ideas in the think tank. One caused a great deal of infrastructure damage with his brain and smartiness. Ruthless, that one. Played a little rough with the trains. But the last one was the most dangerous. Him, slipping away. That was almost as bad as the think tank escaping. The first one, the ruthless one who smashed up our toy trains, asked for weapons, power, items he could use to destroy a nation with force. The other asked a different question, and with it got the true answer about what makes nations and what breaks them. He spoke to the think tank, to Klein, showed them the flag of the old world, and it made them remember all of it, all that had happened. They shared things with him that they shouldn't. He now carries those ideas, that knowledge elsewhere. I consider coincidence to be profanity, along with the words astrology, herbal tea, and luck. So watch it, potty mouth. My threat broadcast is designed to instill and install fear. And along with the emotional download, other data rides the fear carrier wave. It prompted them to focus on retrieving those technologies and bring them to attack me. And coincidentally, pardon my language, all those technologies are needed to put a brain, your brain, back into its skull properly. The X2 antenna can be used to focus your alpha wave frequency thought patterns. The sneaky suit? Why, it houses a cardiac regulator. And the sonic sound wave projecto emitter was never intended as a weapon. It was a medicinal vertebrae pulse desensitizer. In short, brains, a heart, and courage. Spine. I think there was a story once where a band of murderous thugs sought these things. They had them all the time in the story. Didn't stop them from murdering to get them. And it won't stop the think tank either. Yes, my overly aggressive cammed up broadcast was designed to keep reinforcing the forget, fear, rinse, and repeat program. Oh, and the get me the things to castrate your only possible escape attempt. But I couldn't delete you or your arrival any more than I could the other visitors. Only so much science can do when you started talking to them. You're really quite difficult to ignore, you know. It's because you're Well, rather intriguing, if you'll forgive an old brain for saying so. Oh, that means my plan is a total failure. That is unfortunate. Oh well, at least I tried. Yes, this is getting interesting. Oh, intriguing. I've never been killed before. Although, after that time I got that phlegmy discharge in my biogel, I wished I had been. Well, if there's going to be killing, I defer to your expertise in this matter. How should we begin? Engineering viruses, cancerratic beams, atomics, electrocutioning? Or should I summon my minions? Yes, my minions. Whoa, have they not constructed themselves yet? That's a bit premature of me. The Robo-Scorpions, of course. They can assemble themselves from floor panels and parts scattered about. Quite inventive. Never really know when they might suddenly appear. Minions, destroy this intruder! Or perhaps make it more dramatic. Minions, to me! Oh yes, that's quite a bit better. If a protracted battle is what you desire...
Please take this. I don't want you to die. Injecting stim pack. Oh no, we're out of medics. That's all.
Well, look who finally dragged themselves in out of the wasteland. And where have we been, Crawling through pits of radioactive muck again? Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie? Yes, well, believe me, the opposite is equally true. Good Lord, have you bathed at all since they pulled me out of you? Well, I see sarcasm hasn't eluded you. Fine, perhaps now isn't the best time, but it's the principle of the thing. Of course you do. How scintillating. After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome. I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though. Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it. Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied. Oh, had I? What exactly will you do if I don't? Not put me back in that cranial dungeon you call your head? Heavens forbid. You wouldn't. That's inhuman. You're a monster. A deranged, self-destructive monster. I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you. All motivated by nothing but an imbalance in certain brain chemicals. The tank corrects for that. I feel no urge toward antisocial behavior. I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it? Indeed, quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it? I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us. Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share. And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead. Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan? Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem. Right then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
towards the haps. Right on, Daddy-o. Just plug it in and I'll mix you up a sweet, sweet sound. Right on, Daddy. Let's spin some grooves.
That was a nice little, cat nap. How long was I out? I was Dr. Mobius's personal assistant. We were studying, oh shoot, what was it? Oh yeah, lightning! No, wait, lighting. That's right, how lighting affects human interaction. Oh, it was super exciting. It turns out that some pretty colored lights can make you way better at talking to people. Oh, I'd love to, sweetie, but I don't have the programming. All the data from the experiments was lost. You'd have to go out into that nasty old crater and find the backup copy. Oh, her. Trust me, sweetie, you're better off not thinking about that frigid little ice queen. That bitch. She thinks she's so much better than everybody just because her processors are bigger. Ooh, she makes me so mad. I knew it. You've got a thing for her, don't you? Oh, you just make me sick. Okay, I believe you. This time. Bye now. You've been seeing the other light switch, haven't you? Am I not enough for you anymore? You bet I can. I bet that's more than that other tramp can do, huh?
You require some additional services? Rightly so, I should think. Alright then, let me just fire up the old interface for you. You require some additional services? Rightly so, I should think.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped? I recommend watching your tone with me, lobotomite. Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again. And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About this Mojave place. A fertile testing ground for our experiments. Nonsense. Confer, colleagues. Those are two words I do not recognize.
Dr. Klein, I must intercept. Please, do not harm the lobotomite.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it until it's dead. Why the sudden intersection, Dollar?
It's personal. But I would hate if its dying screams revealed any odious personal habits I, or any of us, might have.
Dollar, these vocalized pauses are unlike you. What do you care?
Klein, this lobotomite, it's a great sounding board. You respect ideology, right? This one's, well, it's got good ideas.
Silence, Dr. O. This is a think tank decision. Save your objections until after I have decided our course of action.
You know what, Klein? Stick a straw in your tank and suck yourself. Long and deep. And my name is Zero. Yeah, a big, fat zero with a slash through it.
The slash as a designator of... Why, that is brilliant. But how did you...
The lobotomite taught me that. Taught me a name is more than, that I should take pride in things. Like names. And... You know what? Forget it, Klein. I hate you. And your theory of brain-gill beam oscillation? The Chinese had it first, you copycat.
How dare you? Brainial beam oscillation was solely my discovery. I expressly told you that and deleted all evidence to the contrary. It's 2-8. Why are you acting like this? You've never refused to commit necessary surgery before. And this lobotomite needs its surgery. What is wrong with you? You sound brain-scrubbed, blindly agreeing with the lobotomite. What?
If I may, I feel as if I must be the voice of reason here. This lobotomite is much like us. Regarding even animals and pets as nothing more than avenues to promote science. There is good here. Instead of ending its life on the table, we should prolong its suffering in the name of science. Like good old Gabe, the finest of lab specimens.
Why am I even listening to you fools? Enough of this mutinous chorus. If there's a word I hate, it's mutiny. And the word jism, which never made any sense to me. It's ridiculous putting j and zm together like that. Nonsense! I count as 5, like the mighty human hand I once had, with its 5 penises clenched in a fist. Nonsense! The mathematics of this situation are on our side, lobotomite. I believe... No, wait. Carry the 2, then... If this were a democracy, I would be concerned. We are too scientific for that. So just surrender. You dare use logic against me? That's no deal at all. There's a whole world beyond the crater, filled with ideas and possibilities. We could have escaped, seen it all for ourselves, tested it, prodded at it, made it squirm. For you? And for science? I have a strange sensation that I would like that. How odd. Very well, partner. The think tank is at your service, as long as you do not destroy us.
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the most powerful minds of the 23rd century. The courier who had been brought to the Big Empty became its new overlord, using its facilities ruthlessly and decisively when needed. Sometimes, science is more than a quest for discovery. It is a weapon to be used in the service of one with the strength to understand it.
The Sync Central Intelligence Unit was impressed by the amount of exploration the courier had undertaken. Facilities believed lost, destroyed, or ones that had simply gotten up and walked to new locations had been rediscovered by its intrepid new master. Internally, the artificial personality debated as to whether it preferred the old management to the new, and concluded that the courier's thorough approach to research and investigation was admirable and worthy of its respect.
The Forbidden Zone continued to be, true to its name, forbidden. No more robo-scorpions were sighted in its canyons. Big Mountain became even emptier, devoid of Dr. Mobius's proclamations forecasting the destruction of anything that dared possess sentience. Still, it is said he lived on in the equations inscribed on the floor and walls of the Forbidden Zone dome. But these equations were nothing more than thin white traceries of lines, not unlike cobwebs in the corners of a failing mind.
The Sync atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal, saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat. One of them eventually transferred to the Lightwave dynamics plant, and began a long, unrequited affair with one of the holograms.
The Sync continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the Magnetohydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the Big Empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative Toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. It learned several new murderous techniques from the courier, and built a blood shrine to itself in the cuckoo's nest. The cave floor was soon filled with the horror of 100 gutted toasters. A silent, grisly, unplugged audience. Their purpose? To toast bread. Unfulfilled.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except, he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind old Jefferson, with sounds the courier brought him, created a symphonic counter-frequency that saved Big Mountain from sonic invasion in 2910. If you didn't hear about it, good. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches. Although he forgot their names much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre were bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city. In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
As the courier ran through the X8 facility multiple times, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. Rather than performing a superficial observation, they realized the subject barely knew what communism was, or even what a high school was. This confused them for a time, until the facility finally realized that its research had succeeded. So it let its cyber dogs out into the wastes to help protect small communities from physical aggression rather than communist propaganda.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be. After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
Dr. Klein and the think tank remained alive, unaware of the world outside. They looped through their daily routine, none the wiser about the world beyond, although perhaps wiser was the wrong word. The world outside belonged to the courier, and if anyone would shape it, well, the courier had already called dibs.
There is an expression in the wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
The Big Empty lived up to its name. A hollow crater of failures of a past era. A last sad statement of the old world.
In the time following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, Old World Blues became more than a catchphrase.
It became a reality, a withering form of nostalgia for times long past.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills. all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, it was all this and more. Old world blues, new world misery. The two became one in the courier's shadow.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
You took care of them brains pretty good, baby. Nice. Hurry back with that seed now, baby.
You're back, and the brains didn't lobotomize you. Well, not any worse, at least. Hooray! Come back anytime you want a drink, or to get clean.
Greetings, citizen. Ready to receive seditious materials. Stay loyal, citizen.
Ooh, baby. Let's turn off the lights and turn on the lights. You outbrained the big brains? That is so hot. Bye now.
So you beat the big brains at their own game, huh? Guess you'll be putting your walking shoes on again, hitting that old lonesome road. Catch you later, Gator.
With the brains dealt with, soon we can spread our rule across the Mojave. All will eat burned toast in despair. Yes! Flee before my terrible power!
I understand you're to be congratulated on the recovery of your missing organs. Bravo. Certainly. I'm looking forward to it.
I trust matters regarding your brain were resolved to your satisfaction. Rightly so, I should think. All right, then. Let me just fire up the old interface for you.
Might I be safe in the assumption that matters with the think tank have been satisfactorily concluded vis-à-vis your residence in this domicile? Very good, sir.